Hi guys, today I'm going to explain this lesson Din Dopahar Mein Sham. It's taken from Utkarsh Hindi textbook grade 7. आप जानते ही हैं भारत जितनी प्राकृतिक और सांस्कृतिक विविधता अन्य किसी देश में नहीं पाई जाती. You all know that the natural and the cultural diversity that is found in India is not found in anywhere else in the world. Prakritik means natural, Sanskritic means cultural. Vividhata means variety of these things or diversity of these things. यह वह देश है जिसके एक भाग में जिन दिनों बेहद ठंड पड़ रही होती है, ठीक उन्हीं दिनों कोई दूसरा क्षेत्र गर्मी से तप रहा होता है. This is that country where when in few of the days it's extremely cold, there will be some other places in the same country where it's extremely hot, which is burning with heat. अथवा बाढ़ से जूझ रहा होता है, or maybe there are few days in certain places which is tackling floods or which is facing floods. So this is how the diversity in nature is in India. गर्मी से तप रहा होता है means burning with heat. बाढ़ means flood. जूझ रहा होता है means facing flood. जब एक क्षेत्र में चिलचिलाती धूप होती है, when in one place there is this hot shining sun, तब कोई और क्षेत्र शाम के अंधेरे में घिर चुका होता है. At that time, some other place in this country is covered with the darkness of the evening time. शाम के अंधेरे means in the darkness of the evening time. घिर चुका होता है means it's covered with that. पर्यटन, रोमांच और प्रकृति प्रेमी लोग इस देश में बने रहकर भी अपनी पसंद के स्थानों का आनंद उठा सकते हैं. People like tourists who are romantic and nature lovers, they can remain in this state, in this country, and still they can enjoy the different kinds of places that they would love to. Paryatan means tourism. Romanch means romantic, fun-loving. Prakriti premi means nature lovers. Anand utha sakte hain means they can enjoy it. Now let's get into the introduction of the lesson. This lesson is all about Arunachal Pradesh. The author has gone to visit this place called Arunachal Pradesh. It is one of the states of India which is in the eastmost part of India. Arunachal यानी यह वह प्रदेश जहां सूरज सबसे पहले दस्तक देता है. Now Arunachal means that place where the sun first gives a knock. That means the sun rises in this place foremost. दस्तक देता है means knocks. इस प्रदेश की विविधताओं का कोई पारावार नहीं. The author says that the kind of diversity that we can find in this place that cannot be described in words. There are no words to describe them. विविधताएं means varieties, diversity. पारावार means words. कहीं बर्फ ही बर्फ तो कहीं झरने ही झरने. At certain places in this place called Arunachal Pradesh, you will find only snow. At the same time, there will be certain other places where you will find only waterfalls. Jharne means not exactly waterfalls, children. They are streams of water. समुद्र तल से हजारों फुट ऊंचाई पर रहना सहना. And people here, they are staying thousands of feet above the sea level. Samudra tal means sea level. Hazaron foot means thousands of feet. Unchai means in height. Abhi dhoop to abhi chaya. So the author says in seconds the weather changes. If it is sunny just now, within seconds it will become shady. Chaya means shade. Abhi barsat to abhi andhar. Immediately if it rains, just the next moment there will be a storm. Andhad means storm. ऐसे क्षेत्र में रहने के लिए बहुत जीवट चाहिए होता है. In order to stay or live in such places, we should have lot of courage. Jeevat means courage. अरुणाचल के इस दुर्गम पहाड़ी हिस्से में जो बोमडीला, दिरांग, तवांग की ओर जाता है, भारी ठंड पड़ती है. Now the author says that in this part of Arunachal Pradesh, which is not very easily accessible, which is very difficult to go to, and this place, it leads to another place known as Bomdila, Dirang, Tawang. And in this place, it's extremely cold. Bhari Thand means extreme cold. Durgam means inaccessible, and which is very difficult to reach. Pahadi hisse mein means mountainous region. सुबह 5:30 बजे तेजपुर से चले थे, तब बारिश हो रही थी. The author says that they had started their journey at 5:30 from a place called Tejpur. At that time it was raining there. बारिश हो रही थी means it was raining. वह थमी नहीं है, and it had not stopped. थमी नहीं है means did not stop. सामने आकाश को सीधे सिर पर उठाए गर्वोन्मत्त पहाड़ रास्ता रुके खड़ा है. Now he is giving a beautiful picture of the natural beauty there. He says in front of him, when they started their journey, they could find in front of them, large mountain which is carrying the sky on its head. In other words, what the author means to say is that they were very tall mountains. When we look at them, we feel as if they're just touching the sky, as if they are carrying the sky on their head. And he describes the mountains as Garvonmat. Garvonmat means proud. They are very proud because they are standing straight and holding the entire sky on their head. Akash means sky. Seedhe means straight. Sir par uthaye means carrying on the head. Garvonmat means proud. Pahad, mountain. Rasta roke khada hai, and the mountain, they feel as if the mountain is blocking their way. रास्ता चुपचाप बगल काटकर आगे निकल गया और बात बन गई. Now the author was worried that they may not be able to move forward, but the road, they had made a cutting next to the mountain in such a way that they could easily pass that area. मैंने नीचे झांक कर देखा. Now on the slope of the mountain, there was a deep ditch, and the author, he just peeped down, looked down to see how far he could see. नीचे झांक कर देखा means he just peeped down. अतल गहराई में नीला धुआं भरा हुआ है. He saw that it was really deep, and in that depth it was filled with blue colored smoke. और पाताल से छल छल जलधारा फूट रही है. And from the underground, water streams were just spurting out. Chal chal means it is a sound which is given to the movement of water. Here, children, atal gehrai means the deep depth. Neela dhua. Neela means blue. Dhua means smoke. Here, in fact, the smoke refers to, the clouds or the fog, which almost have a look of smoke. Patal se. Patal means the underground, the area under the earth. Jaldhara, water stream. फूट रही है, it's coming out. जलधारा नदी बन गई और होड़ बांधकर साथ दौड़ने लगी. And this water stream, which was spurting out from deep down, it became a river, and then as they were traveling, the river was also flowing parallel to them, as if it is competing with them. Hod bandhkar means competing with them. पहाड़ी नदी की लहरों से झाग उठ रहा है. From this mountainous river, that means the river which is coming, starting from the mountains, from their waves, foams were forming. So Pahadi Nadi means the river which is coming from the mountain. लहरों से means from the waves. झाग उठ रहा है. झाग means foam. You know the bubbles. झाग का रंग बिल्कुल दूध सा सफेद है. And the color of the foam is exactly like milk, as white as milk. पहाड़ लगातार ऊंचे और ऊंचे उठते जा रहे हैं. So the author was feeling as if the mountains are becoming taller and taller as he was moving ahead. पहाड़ means mountain. पहले दोनों किनारों पर ऊंचे ऊंचे वृक्ष थे. So first initially when he started his journey, on both sides of the river there were tall trees. जिनकी पत्तियों पर पड़ रही चम चम चमकती धूप नदी पर बूंद बूंद टपकती तो नदी की धारा चांदी चांदी हो जाती. Now the author says that the leaves of the tall trees, when the shining sun would fall on them, and these sunlights they would fall on the river, then the waves of the river became silvery in color. The whole river was looking, silver in color. Pattiyan means leaves. Cham cham chamakti dhoop means shining sun. Boond boond tapakti, drop by drop when it was falling on the river. Chandi chandi ho jati means it would become totally silvery, the waves of the river. फिर ऊंचे पेड़ पहाड़ों के सामने बौने पड़ने लगे. Then at that time he started feeling as if the tall trees, they became dwarfs in front of the big mountains. बौने means dwarfs. अब पेड़ नीचे हैं, पहाड़ ऊपर हैं. Now the trees were down and the mountains were up because the mountains were very, very tall, high. फिर पहाड़ ने सिर उठाया और बादलों से भी ऊपर हो गया. After that, the mountain, it raised its head and it became even above the clouds. You might have seen in mountainous regions, children, that the clouds, they, float below the peak of the mountains. So here, sir uthaya means it raised its head. That means the mountains became even taller. Badal means clouds. विंड स्क्रीन के शीशे पर अभी की धुनी हुई कपास फैल गई. Now these snowfall, when it happens, it looks exactly like cotton. So the author says that on the glass of the windscreen, sorry children, windscreen के शीशे पर, on the glass of the windscreen, the snow, it came and fell and spread as if it was cotton. Cotton balls, they look exactly like these snowballs, right? So they came and spread on the glass of the windscreen of the car in which the author was traveling. Shisha means glass. Dhuni hui kapas means processed cotton. So he's comparing the snowballs to cotton because they look exactly same. फिर वहां धुआं होने लगा. And then it became smoky. That means the full clouds, they covered that area, including the fog. धुआं means smoke. और दिन दोपहर सड़क अंधेरे में कहीं गुम गई. And suddenly, in the broad daylight, the road or the path on which they were traveling, it got lost in darkness. Andhere mein means in darkness. Kahin gum gayi means it got lost somewhere. So they could not see the road because it had become very foggy. Driver ne wiper chala diya. The driver switched on the wiper of the car और सामने वाली पीली बत्ती जला दी. And he switched on the headlights. सामने वाली means in front. पीली बत्ती means yellow lights. जला दी means he switched on. पीली बत्ती की रोशनी धुएं और धुंध को भेदती हुई रास्ता बनाने लगी. And this yellow light, it pierced the smoke and the fog, and it started making the way for the car to move ahead. Here children, roshni means the bright light, धुआं means smoke, and dhund means fog. दोपहर में संध्या का छद्म सहसा टूटा. Now it was that when the author was traveling, it was almost dark, and suddenly this, evening, the feeling of it being the evening, it broke suddenly. सहसा टूटा means it broke. और कोई एक मोड़ पार करते ही सामने चमकती हुई धूप दिखी. Now, as they were traveling in darkness, suddenly that darkness got removed. And as they took a turn, they saw in front of them bright, shining sun. So, Sandhya ka chadam, the feeling of it being evening. Sehsa means suddenly, tuta means broke. एक मोड़ पार करते ही, मोड़ means turn. As soon as they crossed a turn. चमकती means shining. धूप means sun or sunlight. वहां एक तख्ती पर लिखा हुआ था, fog area ends. So after that turn, on a piece of wood, it was written that the fog area ends there. इस रास्ते पर धुंध के ऐसे कई क्षेत्र मिलते हैं जो दिन दोपहर कितनी ही बार संध्या के छद्म रचते हैं. Now, on this way, you get many places in which, because of the fog, even the broad daylight turns into the feeling of being evening. I hope you understood this, children. और हमें हर बार किसी माया लोक में प्रविष्ट कराते हैं. Now, can you imagine, children, when you're moving from one place, it is totally dark and immediately it becomes full of sunlight within next few seconds. So when it happened like this, the author felt as if they were entering some maya lok, or means magical world or illusionary world. प्रविष्ट means enter. क्या महाभारत में जयद्रथ वध के लिए श्री कृष्ण ने अपनी माया से ऐसी ही किसी छद्म संध्या की रचना की होगी जिसके बाद सूर्य फिर चमका था? Now the author, he thinks of the story, one of the stories in Mahabharata, where for killing Jayadratha, the bad person, Sri Krishna had created such an evening. It was broad daylight, and suddenly with his magical powers, he created a feeling of the sun setting and the day turning into night or evening. And after that, immediately the sun even came out. It started shining after the purpose was met with, or after the Jayadratha was killed. Maya means magic. Chadm, Sandhya means illusionary evening. Rachna means creation. Bomdila bharpur धूप में चमकता हुआ मिला. And they had reached the place called Bomdila, and it was full of sunlight. वैसा ही रंग बिरंगा सजा संवरा और पर्वत से लेकर आकाश तक फैला हुआ जैसा चित्रों में दिखता है. Not when the author, he used to see the pictures of this place called Bomdila, it used to be very colorful, very decorated, and spread. It was spread throughout from the mountains till the sky. And he was feeling it looks exactly like he has seen this place in the pictures. Saja Samra means decorated. Rang Biranga means colorful. फैला हुआ means spread. बोमडीला प्रशासनिक मुख्यालय है और प्रमुख व्यापारिक केंद्र भी है. Now, what is Bomdila? It is an administrative headquarter of Arunachal Pradesh and main business center. Here, prashasanik means administrative, mukhyalay means headquarters, vyaparik kendra means business center. चित्रों की तरह दिखने वाले इस रंग बिरंगे पहाड़ी नगर में हलचल और रौनक है. Now he is describing about this place called Bomdila. So just like the pictures that he has seen, this place is full of hustle and bustle, and it's very colorful, mountainous city. Rang biranga means colorful, pahadi nagar means mountainous city, halchal or raunak means hustle and bustle. सड़कों और दुकानों में लोगों की भीड़ है. On the roads and in the shops, everywhere there is crowd of people. All these roads and shops are crowded. ऐसा लगता है कि यहाँ के सभी लोग अपने अपने घरों से निकलकर बाहर आ गए हैं और धूप का उत्सव मना रहे हैं. The author felt as if all the people in that area, they have come out of their houses and they are celebrating the festival of sunlight. Utsav means sunlight, Utsav means festival, Dhoop means sunlight. मन किया कि मैं भी रुक जाऊं और उनके साथ घुल मिलकर धूप का उत्सव बनाऊं. The author, he felt as if he should also stop there and along with them he should celebrate the festival of sun. अरुणाचल में मेरे लिए यह धूप का पहला दिन था. It was his first day in Arunachal, which was so sunny, जो इतना जीवंत और रौनक से भरपूर है, which was full of life, and रौनक means hustle bustle. और अरुणाचल से जुड़ी मेरी कल्पना को इतना विश्वास दिलाने वाला है. Here the author had an imagination about Arunachal Pradesh, that it is full of life, it is full of natural beauty and full of hustle bustle. So when he actually saw that place, Bomdila, this belief was confirmed. Arunachal se judi means connected with Arunachal. मेरी कल्पना, my imagination, को इतना विश्वास दिलाने वाला है. It is giving more trust. He started trusting it more because in his reality, when he found the city, it was exactly like he had imagined. Here, जीवंत means lively, रौनक means hustle bustle, भरपूर है means it's full of that. फिर भी मुझे यहाँ रुके बिना आगे बढ़ जाना है. Now, the author wanted to stay there and enjoy the life there, but he had to move forward. क्योंकि वहाँ तवांग में बर्फ पड़नी शुरू हो चुकी है. Because there in the place called Tawang, which he wanted to visit, there snowfall had started. बर्फ means snowfall. बर्फ पड़नी थम जाए या बर्फ के कारण रास्ता बंद हो जाए, उसके पहले मुझे हर हाल में तवांग पहुंचना है. Now whether the snow would stop falling or whether the road it becomes blocked due to snow, come what may, he had to reach Tawang at any cost. इसीलिए तो मैंने दिरांग भी छोड़ा. That is the reason why he left even Dirang. दिरांग घाटी यहाँ से लगभग 45 किलोमीटर पहले है. Now this valley, घाटी children here means valley. This valley called Dirang. Dirang is another valley, the name of a place. That is almost 45 kilometers behind. But he wanted to stop there also, but he did not stop because he had to reach this place called Tawang. देश का सबसे बड़ा ड्रैगन वहां है. Country's biggest dragon is present in Tawang. आगे सड़क बंद थी और वहां अफरा तफरी का माहौल था. Now, as they were moving forward, they found that the road was blocked in front and there was an environment of restlessness there, or chaos. Restlessness, or we can say chaos. Very unorganized environment. Sadak means road. Afra tafri means chaos. Mahal means environment. बोमडीला से आगे अभी 15-20 किलोमीटर ही चले होंगे कि इधर से आगे बढ़ी गाड़ियां पीछे की तरफ वापस लौटती मिली. Now they had hardly traveled 15 to 20 kilometers from Bomdila when they found that those vehicles which were before them, in front of them, they had started reversing, coming back. और उनके साथ यह खबर कि आगे सड़क जाम है. And from them they got this news that in front there was traffic jam. खबर means news. सड़क जाम means traffic jam. यहाँ 2 ढाबे हैं. Dhaba means they're small food outlets, children, where you get very tasty fresh food. So there are 2 dhabas there. यहाँ भोजन भी है और चाय भी. And in those dhabas, you get food as well as tea. खूब गहरी धुंध उतरती चली आ रही है और जो दिखाई पड़ रहा था वह धुएं में गुमता जा रहा है. Now when they were near the dhaba, they felt that the fog was getting very intense or deep, and whatever they could see, even that was getting lost in that smoke like fog. Dhund means fog. Gumta ja raha hai means they are getting lost. इसके साथ तीखी ठंडी हवा भी शुरू हो गई. Along with that, extremely cold wind also started blowing. तीखी ठंडी हवा means extremely cold wind. और बदन को कंपाने लगी. And it started making their bodies shiver. कंपाने लगी means shiver. They were shivering with cold. अभी तक मैं एक स्वेटर के सहारे बैठा हुआ था. Till now, the author was just managing with a sweater because it wasn't that cold. अब मैंने ऊपर से विंड शीटर डाली और सिर को भी टोपी से ढका. Now, on top of that, he covered himself with wind sheeter and he even covered his head with a cap. Wind sheeter is a covering with which, because of which, you can save yourself from this cold winds. Topi means cap, ढका means covered. इससे कुछ बचाव हुआ. So with that, he could save himself to an extent from the cold wind. फिर मैंने अपना कैमरा उठाया और ठीक अपने सिर पर खड़ी हुई पहाड़ी की तरफ निकल आया. Now and then the author, he picked up his camera and he just moved to the mountain which was there straight in front of him. इस पहाड़ी पर मकान दिख रहे हैं. And on that mountain he could see houses. मकान means houses. जिनमें लोग रहते हैं. And people are living in those houses. वहां रहने वालों ने अपने घरों के बाहर और पहाड़ी ढलानों पर रंग बिरंगे फूलों के पौधे लगा रखे हैं. And the people staying there, they have planted plants with colorful flowers outside their homes and on the mountain slopes. Pahadi means mountain, ढलान means slopes. रंग बिरंगे फूल means colorful flowers. इस समय फूल भरपूर खिले हुए हैं. The author says that at that time the flowers are fully bloomed. और गहरी धुंध के बावजूद and in spite of the intense fog, उनके रंग चमक रहे हैं. Their colors are shining. धुंध means fog. गहरी means intense or deep. धुंध के बावजूद means in spite of the deep or intense fog. ऊपर पहाड़ पर और पहाड़ी ढलानों पर खिले हुए रंग बिरंगे फूलों को देखना अच्छा लगता है. On top of the mountain and on the mountain slopes, when he would see the colorful flowers, he felt very nice. Pahadi dhalan means mountain slopes. I hope children you're all able to understand the lesson. In case you have any doubts, do let me know. ऊपर से बहुत बड़ी चट्टान धसक कर नीचे सड़क पर गिरी है. Now the author observed that from high above, a cliff, mountain cliff, it just slipped from there and it fell on the road. Now the author is telling the reason why there was a traffic jam. It is because a small mountain cliff had fallen from high above and it had fallen on the road. Chattan means cliff. Dhasakkar means it slipped. चट्टान क्या एक छोटा मोटा पहाड़ ही है. Then the author said it was not just a small cliff. It was rather a round and a very fat mountain. वही रास्ता रोके हुए हैं and that is what had blocked the road. सेना का एक टैंक अपनी पूरी ताकत लगाकर उसे नीचे खाई में धकेलने के लिए जूझ रहा है. And he observed or found that an entire tank of army was utilizing its full strength to push that mountain into the deep ditch on the slope of the mountain. Sena ka ek tank means a full battalion of army. Apni puri takat means full strength. Niche खाई में down in the deep ditch. धकेलने के लिए to push the mountain into that. जूझ रहा है means they were trying their best. किसी विशालकाय हाथी की तरह जाकर चट्टान के साथ सीधे मस्तक भिड़ाता है. Now the author is explaining here what they were doing to push it into the ditch. Like a very gigantic elephant, they would move together and they would go and hit the mountain. विशालकाय means gigantic. फिर वापस लौटकर पैर जमाता है and then it would return and get a strong foothold. पैर जमाता है means would get a strong foothold और नए सिरे से धक्का देता है and then again it would push the mountain with from a new angle. धक्का देता है means push. लेकिन चट्टान टस से मस नहीं हो रही है. But that small mountain was not moving even an inch. Now children, please observe टस से मस नहीं होना. That is also a muhavra which means not to budge even an inch from one's decision or from one's place. जरा भी नहीं हिलना. हिंदी में उसका मतलब ये है. तब टैंक ऑपरेटर ने अपने सिर पर लाल छींट वाला एक कपड़ा बांधा. Now when it just did not budge from its place at that time, the tank operator maybe he took some decision. He tied a red dotted cloth on his head और बाह्य युद्ध के लिए टैंक के हाथों को खोल दिया. And just like one would do in a war, he opened the arms of the tank. So as soon as he opened the arm of the tank, what happened? टैंक के हाथ चट्टान को चूर चूर करके नीचे खाई में लुढ़काने लगे. The hands of the tank, they just broke the mountain into small pieces and they started pushing them into the deep ditch. चट्टान means that mountain cliff. चूर चूर करके, by breaking them into small pieces. नीचे खाई में, down in the deep ditch. लुढ़काने लगे means started pushing them into that. भारी पत्थरों के लुढ़कने की आवाज थोड़ी दूर तक तो सुनाई पड़ती है. Now, the sound of the heavy stones falling into the deep ditch can be heard till some distance. लुढ़कने की आवाज means the sound of their falling into the deep ditch. What was falling into the deep ditch? Heavy stones of that mountain cliff. फिर अतल गहराई से उठकर ऊपर की तरफ आते हुए धुएं और धुंध में उनका दिखना भी बंद हो जाता है. Now the author says that once they are being pushed into the deep ditch, before this the author had mentioned that the entire ditch was full of smoke or the clouds and fog. So they could hear the sound of the heavy stones falling into the deep ditch, but when these stones were falling into the ditch, From there, the smoke and the fog would come out and they could not even see anything falling. मैंने खाई की गहराई का अनुमान लगाना चाहा. Now the author wanted to make a guess about the depth of the ditch. लेकिन उसे नापने के लिए कोई स्केल निर्धारित नहीं कर सका. But he could not decide any scale to find out or to guess the height or the depth of the ditch. Scale means measurement. Nirdharit means could not decide. हम लगभग 10,000 फुट की ऊंचाई पर है. We are almost at a height of 10,000 feet. और अभी हमें और भी ऊपर जाना है. And they had to go still further high up. नीचे बात चल रही थी कि ऊपर तवांग की ऊंचाइयों पर ऑक्सीजन कम हो जाती है. When they were down, people were talking among themselves, saying that at that height, when you reached the place called Tawang, it was, at a height more than 10,000 feet. So they were saying that at that height, the oxygen becomes less. और वहाँ सांस लेने में दिक्कत होने लगती है. And we find it difficult to breathe at that place because it is short of oxygen. दिक्कत होने लगती है means we find it difficult. देखें, अब तो उधर जा ही रहे हैं. Then the author says, let us go and see. Anyway, we are going there. तवांग से ऊपर 12,400 फुट पर किसी सैन्य चौकी से शायद 18 किलोमीटर की दूरी पर भारत तिब्बत सरहद है. Now above almost 12,400 feet above Tawang, there is a what do we say, army post. Sainy Chowki means army post. And from there, if you travel further 18 kilometers, it is the Bharat and Tibet border. Sarhad means border. So here it doesn't mean that 12,400 feet above Tawang. It means at a distance of 12,400 feet above the sea level. That is what they mean. वहां पहुंचने के लिए सेना के ब्रिगेड मुख्यालय से विशेष परमिट लेना पड़ता है. And if someone wants to go to this Bharat-Tibet border, they have to take special permission from the brigade headquarter. मुख्यालय means headquarter. विशेष permit means special permit, the permission to go there. उड़ती उड़ती सी खबर है कि इस समय वहां चीनी फौजें 12 किलोमीटर भीतर तक चली आई हैं. From somewhere, the author got the news that the Chinese soldiers, they have invaded India for almost 12 kilometers at that place. Urti urti si khabar hai means there was no strong evidence to prove that that is true, but it was a news in the air. Bhitar means inside. Tak chali aayi hai means they have invaded. इसमें कितना सच और कितना मनगढ़ंत है क्या पता. Now I don't know how much of this is truth and how much of this is fabricated. मनगढ़ंत means fabricated or made up. अभी 7 बजे हैं और अभी से रात इतनी गहरा गई है. Now it was only 7 o'clock in the evening, but it was extremely dark. गहरी रात में चांदनी खूब चटक दिखती है. And when the dark is when the night is really dark, the moonlight, it looks really beautiful. So at that time, the author could see the moonlight in that dense darkness. चांदनी means moonlight. लेकिन सन्नाटा रात से भी गहरा है. But he could feel that silence, which was even denser than the night itself. सन्नाटा means silence. यहाँ हवा इतनी ठंडी है जैसे वहां से छूकर आ रही है जहां बर्फ पड़ी हुई है. Now the wind that was blowing there, it was so cold, and the author was feeling as it had touched the snow somewhere and it has come from there. अरुणाचल पहुंचने के बाद यहाँ पहली बार कंपा देने वाली सर्दी मिली. After reaching Arunachal, the author, he's saying that the first time he faced winter in which he was literally shivering. कंपाना means shivering. और अंदाजा हो गया कि तवांग कितना ठंडा होगा. And now he could, very well guess how cold it would be in the place called Tawang. Andaza means he could guess. यहाँ अभी बिजली नहीं पहुंची है. Now there is no electricity in this place. इसलिए अंधेरा अंधेरा सा लगता है. So that is why it always looked, he felt darkness everywhere. Bijli means electricity, अंधेरा means darkness. डिबरियां और मोमबत्ती की रोशनी में भोजन करना. Now, because there is no electricity, they had to have their food with the help of candles, in the candle light. और अपनी छाया को देखना. And in that candlelight, children, if you can remember, when we burn a candle and switch off all the lights, we can see, shadows very well. So when the author would see his shadow in that darkness, in the candlelight, he felt as if किसी प्रार्थना सभा में एकत्र होने या भोजन से पहले कोई धार्मिक अनुष्ठान संपन्न करने का आभास देता है. So he started feeling as if, that it is a prayer meeting. There people have got together to do some prayer meeting, or before the food, there is some religious things that have to happen. So he started feeling like that when he had his food in candlelight. Prarthana Sabha means prayer meeting. Ekatra hona means to get together. Dharmik Anushtan means religious rites. Sampanna karne ka starting. Abhas deta hai. It gives a feeling. Raste ke ye dhabe. Now, remember the author had told there were 2 dhabas there. So, रास्ते के ये ढाबे भीतर से खूब साफ सुथरे होते हैं. These dhabas are very clean from inside. साफ सुथरा means very clean. भोजन भी सादा, साफ सुथरा. Even the food there is simple and very clean. सादा means simple, साफ सुथरा means very clean. भोजन के साथ पीने के लिए गर्म पानी और भोजन के बाद हाथ धोने के लिए भी गर्म पानी. Along with the food, they were given warm water to drink, and even after having food, to wash their hands, they got hot water or warm water. सैन्य चौकी में हमारे इनर लाइन परमिट की जांच हुई. On the army post, सैन्य चौकी means army post, they were checked for their inner line permit, the permit to go to that place where the Indian-Tibet border was there. So they checked their permit. यहाँ से जैसे जैसे आगे बढ़ते हैं, ऑक्सीजन कम होती जाती है. As they moved forward, the quantity of oxygen, it started becoming less and less. और सांस लेने में दिक्कत होने लगती है. And we start finding it difficult to breathe because of shortage of oxygen. बर्फ पड़ने के मौसम में यहाँ रहने वालों के लिए पानी की भी दिक्कत होने लगती है. The people who stay there during the snowfall season, they find it difficult even to get water. तब लोग बर्फ के टुकड़ों से प्यास बुझाते हैं. At that time, people, they quench their thirst with pieces of ice. They melt the ice and they drink it. बर्फ के टुकड़े means pieces of ice. प्यास means thirsty. बुझाते हैं means they quench. और उनका नहाना धोना तो हफ्ते में किसी एक दिन ही हो पाता है. And they can take bath only once in a week. हफ्ता means week. नहाना धोना means to take bath. टैक्सी वाले ने बताया कि झीलों में जमने वाली बर्फ का तल इतना मजबूत होता है कि सेना के ट्रक भी उस पर से होकर गुजर सकते हैं. Now the taxi driver told them that the ice which solidifies on the top of the lakes, it is so strong that trucks of the army can easily pass across it. Taxi wala means taxi driver. Jheel means lakes. Jamne wali baraf means the ice which becomes very hard. इतना मजबूत होता है, it is so strong. बर्फ की पहली झलक पाने के लिए मैंने अपना सारा ध्यान सामने दिख रहे पहाड़ों पर केंद्रित कर रखा था. Now the author very much wanted to see the snowfall or the view of the ice or snow and to see its first glimpse. Jhalak means glimpse. He had focused his entire attention on the mountains in front of him. So here barf ki pehli jhalak means first glimpse. Sara dhyan means the entire attention. Kendrit kar rakha tha means he had focused. On what did he focus his attention on? Those mountains जिनके शिखर तो धूप में चमक रहे थे और ढलानों पर छाया पड़ रही थी. He focused his attention on those mountain peaks. Children, here shikhar means mountain peak, the tip of the mountain. Those tips, they were shining in the sun, but on their slopes there was shade. ढलानों पर means on their slopes. छाया पड़ रही थी means there was shade. छाया वाली ढलानों पर जगह जगह बर्फ छितराई हुई थी. And on the shady slopes at many places he could see the snowfall which was spread out. Chhaya wali means shady. Dhalan means slopes of the mountain. Jagah jagah means at many places. Baraf, ice or snow. Chitrai hui thi means it had spread out. इससे पहले मैंने हिमालय के किसी हिमाच्छादित शिखर को कौसानी या रानी खेत से देखा था. Now the author says that before this he had seen this snow-clad mountain peak only from Kausani, place called Kausani ya Rani Khet. Now this mountain that the author is talking about, it is Himalayas, children. Himachadit Shikhar means snow-clad mountain peaks. इतनी दूर से वह देखना किसी पोस्टर को देखने की तरह था. But this place called Kosani or Rani Khet, they were quite away from that Himalayas. So looking at the Himalayas from these places as if he is looking at some poster. The author used to feel that just like we see a poster, he was getting the same feeling. इस बार सीधे सामने दाहिने हाथ में दो शिखरों के बीच वाले पर्वत शिखर पर एकदम धवल सफेद बर्फ धूप में चमकी और वहीं की वहीं आकाश में टंगी दिखती रही. Now he was looking very carefully at the mountain peaks because he wanted to get the first glimpse of the snowfall. And this time, in front of him, दाहिने हाथ में means on the right hand side, दो शिखरों के बीच वाले पर्वत शिखर पर, दो शिखरों के बीच वाले पर्वत शिखर means the mountain peak which was in between two other mountain peaks. So immediately he could see the extremely white, the snow. He could see that falling on the mountain peak in the sunlight. He could see it shine and he could see it like, hanging in the sky. So he got a beautiful glimpse of the snowfall. Parvat Shikhar means mountain peak. Dhaval Safed Baraf, extremely white snow. Dhoop mein chamki, it shined in the sun. और वहीं की वहीं and there itself आकाश में टंगी दिखती रही. He could see them hanging in the sky. Akash means sky, tangi means hanging. Dahina hath means right hand side. मैंने देखा, I saw. सबने देखा, and even others saw. सबने एक साथ देखा. Everybody saw that beautiful, scene together. शांत मन से देखा, and all were shocked and happy to see that. बगल वाले दोनों शिखरों पर खूब सारे बादल उतरे हुए हैं. And this is the mountain peak which was in between two other mountain peaks. And now he says what was happening to the other mountain peaks. On both those, sorry children, mountain peaks, they could see lots of clouds floating. Bagal wale means neighboring. Dono shikhar means both the mountain peaks. Badal dol rahe hain. They felt as if the clouds are dancing. Baraf jami hui hai, and the ice had solidified, means it had become very hard. पूरे शिखर को अच्छे से ढके हुए है, and the entire mountain peak got covered by the ice. मैंने टैक्सी वाले से सलाह ली. I took an advice or suggestion from the taxi driver. सलाह means advice or suggestion. क्या हम थोड़ी देर यहाँ रुक कर उसे देखें? Shall we stop here for some time and see that view? देखेंगे, थोड़ा और आगे चलते हैं. So the taxi driver said, yeah, we will see that view, the scenery, but let us go a bit further. वहां से और अच्छा दिखता है. From there, we can see that even more clearly. आप लोग वहां फोटोग्राफी भी कर सकेंगे. You people can even do photography there. टैक्सी वाले ने हमें ले जाकर एकदम बर्फ के बीचों बीच खड़ा कर दिया. And the taxi driver, he took them and made them stand exactly in the center of the ice. अब वह हिमाच्छादित. Children, here himaच्छादित means fully covered with snow, or the snow-clad mountain peak. हिमाच्छादित पर्वत शिखर एकदम हमारे सामने है, and the snow-clad mountain was just in front of them. सड़क यहाँ संकरी पड़ती हुई सी दिख रही है. Now, there the author observed that the road was becoming very narrow. संकरी means narrow. दोनों तरफ की पहाड़ियां आकर सड़क के साथ सट गई हैं. Now he felt as if the mountains on both the sides of the road, they are just very close to it. सटी हुई पहाड़ियों पर यहाँ-वहाँ टुकड़ों और लकीरों में भुरभुरी बर्फ फैली हुई है. And then he saw that on these mountains which were very close to the road, here and there were pieces of ice. And not only pieces of ice, there were also, lines of ice. Like you can see in the picture before, they were like, ice which has fallen in straight lines and curved lines. Tukde means pieces, lakir means lines, bhurbhuri baraf. Bhurbhuri means something like, dust like. Bhurbhuri baraf itni taza dikh rahi hai. And that snow which had freshly fallen, it was looking very fresh. Taza means fresh. जैसे पिछली रात के आखिरी पहर में ही पड़ी हो. And they felt as if it had just fallen there on the night before. पिछली रात means the previous night. आखिरी पहर में means the ending of the previous night. यह भुरभुरी बर्फ means this soft and dust like barf or ice धीरे धीरे जमेगी. Slowly it becomes solid और कड़ी होती जाएगी, and it will become very hard. Jamegi means it will deposit on the mountain peaks, and kadi hoti jayegi means it will become very hard. Kadi means hard. तब सड़क से सटी हुई ये पहाड़ियां भी दूर से वैसी ही दिखेंगी जैसे यहां से वह हिमाच्छादित शिखर दिख रहा है. Now, even these mountains, which are very close to the road, from far away when someone looks at it, they will also look exactly like the snow-clad peaks are looking from where the author is standing. तब यहाँ तक टैक्सियां नहीं पहुंच पाएंगी, and once these mountains they will be snow clad, then the taxis will not be able to reach there because all the roads will be blocked with ice. यहाँ पहुंचकर जो देखने के लिए मेरी आंखें तरस रही थी वह याक अचानक हमारे सामने था. Now there, when they reached there, he was yearning, his eyes were yearning to see something. And what was the author yearning to see? This animal called yak. This is an animal which is found in the, places where it's very cold, in the mountain peaks. This is called Y-A-K, yak. Suddenly he saw a yak in front of him. Ek akela. It was a lone yak. वहां जहां हरियाली गहरा गई है. And where did he see this yak? Where the greenery had become really dense. हरियाली means greenery, गहरा गई है means had become dense. वह अकेला खड़ा हुआ and it was standing all alone. उसके बाल भूरे सफेद हैं. Now its hair is brown white. It had brown and white hair और उसके मालिक ने उसके गले में लाल रंग का रेशमी फीता बांध दिया है. And his master had tied a silk tie which was red in color on its neck. Lal rang means red color, reshmi fita means red color, silky tie, जिसके साथ कांसे या पीतल की घंटी लटकी हुई है. And on that tie he had tied a copper or brass bell so that when it moves the master can hear it ringing. Kansa here means brass. It's a metal which is yellow in color, children. Peetal means copper. Ghanti means bell. उसके कानों की लौ हल्की गुलाबी है. And its ears, they were light rosy in color. उसके कान लंबे और नीचे की तरफ लटके हुए हैं. The ears of the yak are long and they are hanging downwards. ऐसे में वह इतना चित्रमय दिख रहा है. The author found it to be very picturesque. Picturesque means very, just like a picture. चित्रमय means picturesque. इतना चित्रमय दिख रहा है कि उस पर अपना कैमरा ताने बिना कोई नहीं रह सकता. The yak was looking so picturesque that nobody who had a camera could stop himself from taking a picture of the yak. लेकिन कैमरे को उसने शायद बंदूक समझा. But maybe the yak thought that the camera was a gun. बंदूक means gun. और भागकर छिपने लगा. And he ran and tried to hide. Maybe the yak thought that the author had a gun in his hand and he was going to shoot him. छिपने लगा means started hiding. ऐसे में उसके गले की घंटी बजने लगी. At that time what happened? The bell on its neck started ringing. घंटी की आवाज सूनी घाटी में संगीत की तरह गूंजी. And the sound of the bell, it echoed in that lonely valley just like a beautiful music. घंटी की आवाज means the sound of the bell. सूनी घाटी में, in the lonely, quiet, silent valley, संगीत की तरह, like music. गूंजी means echoed. यह संगीत मैंने 3 या 4 दशक पहले बनी सत्यजीत रे की फिल्म कांचनजंगा में सुना था. Now the author said that the same music he had heard in a movie made by Satyajit Ray called Kanchenjunga, and that was made around 3 to 4 decades ago. Decades means 10 years. So Sangeet means music, children. Dashak means decade. कांचनजंगा में यह आवाज अकेली नहीं थी. In that movie, this sound of the music was not alone, बल्कि याकों का रेवड़ घाटी से ऊपर आ रहा था और उन सबके गले में घंटियां थी. Now the author saw that this was just the only one yak there, but in that movie Kanchenjunga, it was not the sound of one yak's bell. Actually, in that movie he could see, a battalion or a group of yaks. They were moving, or they were going up the mountain, and every yak's bell was ringing. So you can imagine how beautiful the sound would have been. Ghantiya means bells. Yakun ka rewad means the group of the animal yak. Ghati se upar. They were walking, towards the height in the valley. And everybody's neck there were bells. इतने दिनों से कानों में बज रही उन घंटियों के स्वर को आज मैंने यहाँ सुना. Now, 3 to 4 decades back, he had seen the movie, and that music had really, enticed him. So today, he heard, after 30 to 40 years, he heard the same music straight in front of him. इस घटना को अपनी डायरी में नोट कर सकता तो कितना अच्छा होता. The author, he imagines how nice it would have been if he could note this incident in his diary. But alas, लेकिन मैं तो डायरी ही नहीं लिखता. But he is not used to writing diaries. This story is written by Satish Jaisawal. I hope, children, I've been able to make you understand what is there in the story. This is dedicated to a little subscriber of mine who had asked me to explain this few days back. I'm extremely sorry I could not do it on time, but I hope at least to some extent it will help all of you. So best wishes and take care and enjoy yourself, children. See you in my next video. Till then, bye-bye.